Springtime is a time to remember one of the most important truths when it comes to experiencing abundance in your life, when it comes to breaking free of any experiences of scarcity you're having in your life, especially when it comes to money. That principle was made evident to me just a week ago when I was out in our apple orchards on a glorious spring day, and the trees were simply covered with blossoms. It's these gorgeous white blossoms set against the backdrop of a brilliant blue sky. And as I stood by the trees, I could hear it. Oh, I could hear it. The buzzing of countless hundreds and hundreds of bees buzzing through from blossom to blossom to blossom to blossom, from tree to tree. Literally, if you stood still underneath one of those trees, you could just hear, like stereo, this vibration of life, this buzzing of the bees. And what the bees remind you and remind me of when it comes to abundance, when it comes to life itself, is that abundance is not a solo sport. It's not a do-it-yourself project. And yes, I know that's countercultural because we live in a society where we talk about the self-made man and the self-made woman. And we celebrate those rags to riches stories where someone pulled themselves up by the bootstraps and made it happen. We can get these messages that abundance and being successful, etc., it's something I have to make happen. And we, my friends, are the only living beings who have that belief system, because that is not how the universe works. That is not the blueprint for the rest of creation. Rather, all of creation understands, even if they don't have the rational, intellectual mind to know this, they understand that abundance comes from connection, that abundance is not a do-it-yourself thing. Those bees cannot live without apple blossoms and other things to feed on. Those apple trees and apple blossoms can never produce a red or a green apple without the bees and other pollinators. And if those trees and other plants that depend upon the pollinators do not produce their fruit, then I don't have healthy vegetables and fruit to eat. Not to mention, if they don't produce their fruit, then they can't produce seeds, which means birds can't eat seeds that feed them. But more than that, there can't be future apple trees. Abundance is not a solo sport, a do-it-yourself project. It's not something we make happen. And if you're bringing that concept, that idea, that illusion to your relationship with money, thinking that you have to fix your money problems yourself, and I got myself into this mess and I have to get myself out of it, or if I could just work harder and more efficiently and do all of these things, then I'll be there, I'll be abundant. You're on the wrong track, my friends. The process of accessing the abundance that's already available to us as part of this ecosystem of abundance that we live in requires basically three simple movements. Four. We have to recognize we're part of something bigger. We have to be in connection and in relationship with it. And one of the ways we are in relationship with it is we're willing to receive gift, support, money, suggestions, ideas. And that may stop you right in their tracks, because for many people, receiving is a difficult thing to do. It's uncomfortable. They've even been taught they shouldn't receive, or they don't deserve to receive. That'll be another video some other day. The other thing that's required is to connect, is you have to be willing to share. You have to be willing to give. We experience the power of this with every breath we take. We receive oxygen. That comes from our connection to something bigger, trees and plants and phytoplankton, who release oxygen into the world. And then we have to be willing to release, let go of carbon dioxide, excess oxygen that gives life to the plants and trees. When it comes to experiencing abundance and well-being, we have to be willing to practice things like receiving and giving, which is where those fears of scarcity and not enough can get in our way. We also have to, in between, learn how to use what we've received and share what we've received. We need to learn how to use it in ways that truly support health and well-being, not just for ourselves, but for the planet, and that are sustainable, so that you and me and all of creation can experience the abundance of creation. And in collaboration and in connection and in participation and in relationship with each other, and the resources that creation and the source of creation offers us, you can more fully become who you were created to be. I can more fully become who I was created to be. Apple trees can be pollinated by bees and produce fruit that I can eat. That's the process, my friends. So if you've been thinking it's up to me and feeling all that pressure, and maybe on the flip side then saying it's my fault that I'm not, I invite you to find yourself in nature. Look how nature works, how everything's interconnected. You and I would not have food to eat if it weren't for bees and trees and flowers and vegetables and animals who need the vegetables to eat. Like, it's all connected. And then I invite you to look and see, where are you disconnecting yourself from it? Is it your refusal to receive support, help, resources, coaching, money, gifts? Or is it that your fear of scarcity and not enough has you be hesitant to share, to give, because you're in that it's a solo sport? It's an individual experience, abundance. I want to experience for myself. You can't experience it for yourself unless you experience with others. And if you recognize that perhaps receiving is one of the difficult things for you to do, that could be the block, then I'd like to offer you a gift. Click on the link below and sign up for a free discovery session with me. I can support you to participate in the something bigger, to be in relationship with it and have resources, including money, flow to you, through you, used wisely, and share with the world. And if you're not ready for that, then just go to my website and click on some of the links, because there's a lot of gifts available to you. If you go to like begin here, or find my garden hose video on the homepage, or click on why right above the fold, our definition of abundance keeps you and me and us in scarcity, go there too. Either way, you're practicing receiving, my friend. Because again, abundance is not a solo sport. It's not a do-it-yourself project. It's something that happens and that we experience in relationship with others, in partnership and collaboration and connection with something bigger than us, including the source of all life and abundance.